Well, hey, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. I am so glad that you're here, whether you're sitting in your lazy boy or you're at work and you're looking for something that'll bring you joy today. I hope this episode will do so. This is Season 2, Episode 3 of Here in My Time, the podcast dedicated to bridging the gap between generations. And if you're new around here, and I'm so glad that you're giving it a try, or maybe you're returning and you forgot my name already, which it's easy to do. I do it sometimes myself. My name is Lauren Hunt, and I'm a local personal journalist, photographer, documentarian, and quite frankly, just somebody who has loved storytelling her entire life. I've had a lot of amazing opportunities in my life to sit next to somebody who shared stories with me, and I have kept their legacy alive through some of those stories because you know what? I believe storytelling can make an impact on our lives, and I've seen it and felt it firsthand. I sit down with you each week and I bring you a story that has captured my heart in hopes that it will capture yours. Maybe it's somebody that you know, or maybe it's somebody that you've never met. I hope that their story will inspire you to tell yours. I have to take a second and say a huge thank you to my first half of this season sponsor, which is A Simple Farm. I am honored to work alongside a business who I truly believe in their passion, their purpose, and their product. And A Simple Farm is just that. There is nothing better than working with a family-owned and operated business. They're nestled in the heart of rural Wabash County and is inspired by country living, handmade traditions, and a deep love for herbal and medicinal plants. From handcrafted soaps and herbal salves to cozy home goods and repurposed creations, each product is thoughtfully made using nature-inspired ingredients and a passion for simple, natural living. Rooted in creativity, heritage, and old-fashioned farmhouse values, A Simple Farm celebrates the healing beauty of herbs, the comfort of handmade goods, and the charm of a slower way of life in rural Indiana. Folks, you're going to want to pick up some of their products, so make sure you head over to A Simple Farm on Facebook and Instagram, and I'll have their website linked below so you can just easily click on any of their platforms and you can find them automatically. Like I said, I truly believe in them. And Kristen Reynolds, if you want to learn more about her, there's 2 articles on my website, and there's a podcast with Kristen Reynolds and her son Vincent, which is we have a giveaway happening right now on our social media platforms. Kristen has actually put together a beautiful box of handmade bath products. It's so beautiful. I love all of her products, so you are not going to be disappointed at all. Handmade, natural, and she's giving a box away. I mean, come on, how much better can that get? So make sure you can find out more information on either of our social media platforms and how you can enter to possibly win this beautiful package. I cannot wait, so make sure you go and enter. All right, everybody, grab a cup of coffee, get settled in, and let's go on a little bit of a journey to the Party Shop in downtown Huntington, Indiana, where we find Lynette Dowden, the owner of this beautiful establishment that opened in 1920. So it has a long history. If you've never been there, it is a place where you can find coffee, homemade candy, and community, and I think that pretty well sums it up right there. Of course, being open since 1920, you can only imagine the history and the stories that this place holds. If you've ever been into the Party Shop, you might have met a man named Freddie Tackett, who has a hometown smile like no other and the most friendliest wave. He mixes between your grandpa and your best friend, and it's something that will always be embedded in your heart. Once you meet him, you will never forget him. He has such a heart for not only the people within the Party Shop, who has been like family to each other. I have noticed just the way that they have carried on with each other and loved on each other, but I also have noticed the fact that he just loves life. We sit down with him a couple days after his birthday, and we actually have the same birthday, which I find out in the interview, and you'll hear. Now, I could have talked to him all day, but it's very short and it's sweet and it's beautiful. And I just loved hearing his love for life and the Party Shop, and I think you will as well. So I'm going to introduce you to Freddie Tackett. You'll notice the audio is quite raw, and I kept it that way just so you could feel the environment of the Party Shop. So, are you ready? Allow me to introduce you to Freddie Tackett.
Okay, my name is Freddie Tackett, yes.
Freddie Tackett.
Sure.
You do the candy here, don't you? You stir a lot.
Well, yes, I do. I I make the caramel for the caramel apples. Also the caramel for the turtles, and it takes sometimes 2 hours to put it together. We do it in an old pot, the old-fashioned way. We got a gas burner that's real old in a copper pot, and we stir it and stir it. You can't stop stirring. Once you start, it takes sometimes up to as long as 2 hours. And we don't use a thermometer.
You know it by...
Yes, right, yeah. We just know how it feels and how it bubbles. And when it starts looking like the surface of the moon, when it starts bubbles, looking like the moon craters, we know to turn it off.
How long have you been doing this?
I'm guessing about 4 years or better, something like that, I guess. Yeah.
And why did you start doing this?
Well, I've been coming in here for many, many years, and Lynette's father-in-law used to do it, and very, very nice man, good friend, and he passed away. And Lynette asked me to do it, and I said, well, I'll try it, but I don't know. So I tried it and I liked it, and I said, well, I'll do it a little bit, and I'm still doing it. So, and I love to do it, yeah. And I do a lot of bagging too, so I'm the bagger too.
You're a bagger of all the candy.
Yes, I don't bag at all. All the girls, they all help bag too, so I do a lot of bagging also in between that. So, and I make the caramel for all the apples. And I love it. I love it when it's apple season.
Oh, is that your favorite?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love caramel apples too.
Yeah, so everybody else does too. So they love to do it, and I love to make the caramel for it. And I like making the turtles too. I like doing it all.
Yes.
I get excited when I come in here. So
yeah,
it's my therapy place down here.
Oh yeah.
It is.
Yeah. What's your absolute favorite memory of working here so far?
Absolute best memory. I was sitting in here one day with my sister and brother-in-law before I even started working here, and Lynette was doing the apples. I think her and her father-in-law, or she was doing something with apples. I can't really remember. And she threw an apple to me and hit me with the apple. That's my favorite memory of this
That's your favorite memory?
She smacked me with an apple.
Oh my goodness.
That's my favorite memory of this place. As before, I started working here many years before, so yeah, it's my favorite memory. But I got a lot of good memories of this place, yes.
Have you always been from around here?
Yeah, my family moved here like 59 or something like that, and I've been coming here ever since.
Oh, yeah?
So when I was a little boy, and I'm 77 years old.
You just had a birthday, didn't you?
Right, I did, just the 15th, matter of fact.
That's my birthday.
Is that your birthday too? Happy birthday, honey.
Happy birthday to you
Oh,
too.
God bless your heart. That's neat.
Okay, since we have the same birthdays,
Yeah.
what's the biggest piece of advice you can give me about life?
Be honest and be as happy as you can. Always be honest with people. Treat people the way you want them. Treat them the way you want them to treat you. You know the old saying.
Yeah.
That's the best thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the best thing.
Well, I love that. Well, I won't take too much of your time. I could talk to you all day, but I won't take much of your time.
Okay.
I appreciate you sitting and talking with me.
Yeah.
And I hope you enjoy your birthday week. We're gonna extend it into
Well,
this
you
week.
too, extend it.
I say we extend it and
We
we
will.
make it our town.
We'll
Shall we
we'll
go
do that.
skipping down the street?
Yeah, we could do that. We could do that.
I love that.
Yeah. Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Okay, thank you, honey.
Now, wasn't that just the sweetest treat? I think it was. I really enjoyed it. It was such an honor to sit down with him, and he just happened to be coming in that day, and he graciously said yes to sit down with me for a few minutes. So I tried to keep it short and sweet and not take too much of his time so he could just enjoy the rest of his day, but I love that so much. Now, before we jump into the rest of the episode with Lynette, I think we shall take a moment to say thank you to another store who's downtown Huntington as well. So after you grab your cup of coffee, make sure you head over to Turn the Page Books and Music Store, where Rex has graciously been so kind to sponsor this season of the podcast. So thank you so much, Rex. This is the place to go to find your next read or your next record to add to your collection. It's everything you could hope for, from the lighting to the wood floors, the smell of old books, and the sound of flipping through records. I love it. And, of course, great company with the owner, Rex. So thank you. Make sure you go over there and support him. And if you go, make sure you say Lauren sent you. Now, let's talk about this interview with Lynette Dowden. I am so thankful she took a moment out of her day to really sit down and talk to me about her legacy, her story, and just her heart behind everything that she does within the party shop. I have to say that sitting down with Freddie Tackett and having him share his story, that wouldn't be possible without the idea of having a place that facilitates community in that way. When somebody cares about their community and cares about the experience that a customer feels when they walk through the door, it truly makes a difference. And I think Lynette does that so well. And you'll notice in this episode, in fact, she takes a few seconds when customers are walking in to say hi in the middle of an interview or whatever it might be. I love that. And I wanted to keep that in there for you guys to experience, because it is a true one-of-a-kind experience when you walk through the door of the party shop and Lynette meets you at the door. I mean, come on now. How lovely is that? I have to say, Lynette's not the only one that does that. All of her employees are just the same way. They are so kind and so sweet, and they're always like that, hey, y'all come back now, you hear, kind of people, and I love that. I love it so much. So I'm so excited for you to hear this interview, so let me introduce you to Lynette Dowden, the owner of the party shop. I am on location in downtown Huntington at the party shop with Lynette Dowden, and I'm so glad that she said yes to come on the podcast. Thank you for being here, Lynette.
Thank you, Lauren, for having me.
So I just kind of came in and was like, hey, how you doing? I want to introduce myself and get you on the podcast. But you have always been so kind. Every time that I have ever been in here, whether you known who I was before or not, I've come in here with family, and you're just so kind, and you're the epitome of what it looks like to be a small town business owner. And I love to watch you just connect with your guests.
I appreciate you saying that very much, but the whole vibe of the party shop is the customer service friendly atmosphere that we wish to provide. So we can only be as good as our customers. So thank you, Lauren, for saying that.
Thank you. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. We might know you just as the business owner, but who are you? Where were you born? Where have you came from? Have you always been from Huntington?
I have, right. I am 59 years old this summer. I have been born, raised here in Huntington County, and have raised my family here as well, too. So I didn't know a whole lot about downtown Huntington because I was raised rural on a farm out just north of Huntington. We came to town often, but we didn't necessarily come to downtown Huntington too much. So it was probably in the 80s before I realized what all was downtown Huntington. And of course, the party shop was here at that time. But again, didn't really patronize the party shop much. Just knew it was a party supplies store, party goods, all kinds of candies were here. And it was just a little shy of like a Hallmark store. You had greeting cards that lined all of the walls in the middle section of this store. And then, of course, the big long candy case that's here today was also here then. And that was when I first came in, like in the 80s, okay? Little did I know that the party shop had been started back in 1920.
Oh, wow.
So I had pretty much made my career in long-term health care. My mother was administrator at a local nursing facility here in Huntington County. I went to work there at age 13 with the little worker's permit. I worked in the kitchen in culinary food service was what I did for 17 years and 7 days. And it wasn't until that nursing facility was bought and sold several times in a 4-year period that I realized it's time to move on.
Right.
That was, working in a corporate world where you were then just a number and it wasn't a family feel anymore. It was time for me to move on. So I was putting together a resume. And I had always worked in food service. I had enjoyed and played around with catering and did some events throughout town and some business people's, maybe their graduation parties, their kids' first communions, or their weddings, bridal showers and whatnot. Worked a little bit out at the La Fontaine Country Club at the time, golf course in the food. So I thought, maybe I want to, use some of these people who I have actually worked for that were business people in our community as references on my resume. I hadn't put a resume together in 17 years. Right? So one particular man that I decided to use by the name of Bill Zimmer from the W.A. Zimmer Sunroom Showroom right out here on North Broadway. I had worked for them and his family with his kids and their different parties that they had. And I thought, I'll call him up, ask him if I could use him as a reference. And so thankful that I did, because, of course, he was very willing to let me use him as a reference. But 3 days later, he showed up on my front door step and was interested in knowing if, since I was looking to maybe change careers, would I be interested in managing the party shop? And I'm like, now wait a minute, the party shop downtown Huntington? Like, I've only been there a time or two. I don't know anything about candy. I've never used a candy thermometer in all my life. His response was, well, food. And he says, I want to make it a coffee shop as well. I said, now, Bill, the only thing I know about coffee is I like to drink it. So he says, good. So he says, think about it. And okay, so I gave it some thought, and I thought, why not? I believe in Bill Zimmer. He was a great mentor for me for 13 years. Gave me full reign of the place.
Wow.
I was able to grow this business to what it is today, not only under my direction for 13 years now myself of owning it, because I've now owned since 2013, but also under the 13 years prior to him owning it as well, too.
Wow.
So he would still own it today, I have a feeling, but his wife was ready to be grandma and move on into more retirement life so that she could enjoy, and she was very involved with day-to-day activity here as well, too. So with that being said, we definitely in the year 2000, when I came to work here, got rid of all of the cards, the crepe paper, the party supplies, because now it's like big ticket stores all over, party outlets, party stores, to where you can get all kinds of today's party supplies, where back in the day it was, more like cake figurines, cake toppers. We still do like the nuts and the mints for the weddings. We still do all kinds of favors, party favors for like bridal showers, table favors for weddings, and then of course the turtles. The turtles, when you were in, you saw and got some pictures of Freddie stirring. We stir the caramel for almost 2 hours to make the homemade caramel. That it goes on the turtle as well as the caramel apples, and we still do it today just like they did.
Same recipe.
Same recipe. same copper kettle right in that area, and the
Oh my
big
gosh.
wooden boat oar right in that same front window where people can come in and see what it is that you're doing and making and putting together. So turtles are big year round. Caramel apples are only seasonal. Again, same caramel that's on the apples is also on the turtle. The cool thing about the apples is that the apples are still grown right here in Huntington County that we use. We only do caramel apples during apple season, which is late August all the way through Halloween.
Do you get the apples locally?
Yes, right
Okay.
here. They're grown right here in Huntington County.
Wow,
Yes.
that is so
Yes.
cool.
On the same grounds that the apples originally started from, too.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that cool, too?
That is
Yes.
so cool. How do you feel about being in a long line of history? I mean,
I love that. I love that because people come in every day, and I'm not kidding you, every day, and they walk down memory lane. And it's so neat to be a part of their journey. Like maybe they walked by here going up to Central School, which is now an apartment complex right here on the hill at Jefferson and Park Drive. We hear that story every day. People will come in and say, I used to walk right by here when I was going home from school, and I'd stop in and get a little piece of candy.
oh, wow.
So it's neat to have a place where you can kind of come back to that you can somewhat remember. It's the same store front door, same long candy case. Now things have changed somewhat inside, but the same recipes are used today as well too.
Well, and it's also like for my generation, having so much more to come downtown to and the like experience getting a candy from a candy case. Like this is for us it's not as nostalgic, but it's like, oh, this is a cool experience that
Thank you.
you only get to have with certain places.
Sure.
And it's such a cool place to come in and experience everything that you put into this place. Because, like you said, it has changed a lot. Even when I was younger, it has changed a little bit since then.
Sure.
But I can always, anytime I come in here, I feel like, oh, this is something that I could just get used to coming into and just.
Thank you. A little specialty shop,
Yeah,
right?
it
And
is.
it has to be warm and inviting. It has to be customer service friendly. I train my staff every day that when that door opens, that's the person who signs your paycheck.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's the absolute truth. It's not me, it's the customer. And if the customers aren't coming, then there's no sense of us being here. We have to provide something, pretty unique. We don't have a coffee drive-through window. It might be snowing or raining or sleeting outside, and it has to be something pretty special inside this door to get out of your car in those elements.
I think it's something we crave, though. And I'm thinking about how that feels anytime that you walk into small businesses. There's a reason why you come in. It's not half the time, it's not about the prices. It's not really about the goods necessarily. It's about the people that you get to meet in the process. And I think, obviously, your products and your candy and your coffee is absolutely stellar. But I think for me, when I walk in and I'm like, that's who I would love to be waited on. Like,
Thank you.
because you're just so kind. Now, you're talking
That's very
about
sweet of you to say.
how you train your employees. Is that kind of reference or that kind of idea of how you want your customers to feel, was that something that Zimmer kind of helped you with, or did
Yes.
that kind of naturally come for you?
Definitely Bill Zimmer taught me that. I didn't have any type of retail sales experience at all until he took me by the hand and said, just be nice, just be honest, just provide a great product, but do it with that care that you already have and that smile. So the first thing that I look for when I'm interviewing someone is their personality, their smile, right? How well are they going to meet somebody, and are they going to be able to talk to somebody that walks in that door? You can't be quiet. You can't be shy here. You can't hide behind or wait on somebody to tell you what they want. They're walking in this door. You need to be helping them figure it out. Providing something extra, go the extra mile, has always been instilled in me. Give them more than what they expect, right? I'm not saying giving away free product. You're not going to stay in business very long doing
Right.
that. I'm saying give them more than they expect, such as an example that I train with, again, every day is you have a customer in that you're creating the relationship with as you are waiting on them, and they happen to mention it's their grandma's birthday, and so then you can take it to that next level. Well, wouldn't you like us to put this in a box for you today? Or how about just a cello bag with a little ribbon for grandma today? Or how can we help celebrate? What does grandma like? Talking to that customer because it's grandma's birthday. You picked up on what they laid down.
Yeah, you were listening to them.
Yes.
It's always
Yes.
nice. And every
Yes.
time, like when I was in here the other day, you just knew everybody's names.
Oh,
you
that's
didn't
kind.
stop
That's
and
kind.
you
Thank you.
asked
You're
them
giving
about their
me too
family.
much credit.
But it's something that maybe you don't really realize how personable and hospitable you are. Even though you're intentional, it goes that extra mile without
you.
you even trying. Bringing people in that are going to be not just customers one time, but
Right.
come back and
Right.
really enjoy being here.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I also, in interview process, explain the fact that we're not a airport kiosk. We're not a franchise coffee shop. We don't have that drive-through that I already mentioned. So we're not looking to just get that one-time latte drinker. You have to be pretty special
Yeah.
to get them to come back repetitively, because you're going to go to the airport and you're going to watch that coffee shop at the airport see somebody different every single day.
Yeah.
Very few repeat customers, right? Right? Here you need to have that repeat customer. If they're not in every day, if they're not in twice a week, you at least want them at least once a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to be able to get to know them and call them by name.
Yeah. And one thing that I've noticed about the atmosphere here and your cycle of kind of the floor plan of when a customer comes in, you don't leave them by themselves. You're constantly, can I help you with anything? Take a minute, enjoy yourself, or whatever
Right.
it might be.
Right. Thanks, Clayton. Thank you. Right. You
But-
don't want to overwhelm them, but yet you don't want
But you're
to
there.
also.
And you're
Yeah.
also providing a moment when their coffee's being made. It's not fast. It's not meant to be fast. And that's what I love about it. And that's why I think the idea of actually, especially for my generation, it's a peace of mind because everything's so fast for us. And to come in here and enjoy ourselves and wait for our coffee and have a lovely conversation with the owner and with the employees, it's kind of a calm in the midst of the storm, you might say. It's a beautiful place to come. I like the
Thank you.
floor plan. I like how you really look at it. You were talking about how going the extra mile. Now, when you were younger, is that something that your parents instilled in you? You said you were
Always.
raised on a farm. What kind of farm was it?
Always. Well, there was an 80-acre farm that I grew up on, and my grandparents also had another 80-acre farm. My dad was not from the county, but my mom was. And so when my mom and dad got married, my dad then moved to the county. So we had, we were so blessed. We had everything we could have ever wanted. We had cows. Obviously, they were raised for beef. We ate them. I had a little pony, right? There were times we had chickens and ducks. Once, I believe there was a rooster that my mom was not a feathered friend, lover. She did not care for those. A few pigs. Self-sustaining farms were big back in the 70s. I was born in the 60s, obviously, but in the 70s, you could go from Huntington to where I grew up, and you might pass 3 or 4 farms that had milk cows, you know. Not that way in the past, or not that way now as it was in the past. But yeah, just my parents weren't grain farmers. They hired that out with their acreage. But yeah, it was just nice to be out. I mean, your nearest neighbor was a good 1/8 to a quarter of a mile away, close to Bippus, if you're familiar where Bippus is. Yeah, it was just a nice area. But we were taught how to work, taught how to work hard, taught how to please people by your work, by your stride. You know, what what you could do for others. And then when I went to work at the nursing home, the geriatrics, and what you could do for someone that couldn't do it on their own was always very important to me too. I love geriatrics to this day.
Well, you could just see you have a heart for people.
Oh, thanks.
And
Thanks. I appreciate that. I'm glad that it shows.
It does
Thank
show.
you.
It does
Thank
show
you.
whether you're trying or not. And
Yeah,
that's what I love
We
about
want
it.
that to be about our character, right?
Yes.
And who cares about a reputation?
No.
We just need that to be our character.
It needs to be. Do you have like a favorite memory on the farm? Do you have something that you
gosh.
think about that makes you laugh or
I mean,
smile?
I would have to say just learning how to maneuver life and just being a hardworking, dedicated person, right? Honest.
Yeah. Did you guys, is there something that your mom or your dad, did you do something separate with each one of them that's special?
Well, I loved My Little Pony, and I, of course, was, like any American girl at age 10, wanted to get a horse,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So, and I know that's your love,
I
right?
know.
So my dad was, I was sure very much closer to my dad than my mom, but my dad definitely did get me that horse, even though it was probably not the best thing for me, but he still provided well. So I have those good memories, but yeah, no, I have no regrets
No,
by all means of growing up in the county and then especially in Huntington County and just getting to know people, living here and going to church here and working here. Yeah, that's.
Why do you think community is so important?
Well, it's a village, right? And then when you raise your own child, and I just have one, but when you raise your own, you can't do it alone.
Right.
You need people around you all the time that are going to be supportive and good witnesses.
Yeah.
Again, to build the character that you want to see.
So, like friendship, for example, I have friends that will tell me like it is. And
Yes.
if I'm out of line, they're going to tell me.
Amen.
And a lot of
That's a
times,
good friend.
it is a good friend if they can say, "Hey, you're not. This isn't what you usually would do or say." Do you have a lifelong best friend?
Well,
Or is there a
I
whole
would have
lot?
to say I'm going to put God first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And then I definitely do say that there's several different people in my life that you run to for certain things. So I would hate to pull one specifically out, but let's put God first.
Yeah.
And then my husband has been amazing. 38 years of marriage, first child and only child at age 37. So like I have a really close bond relationship with a 22-year-old kid that all of his friends are like mine.
Yeah.
It's just like a whole big network again of that village of people. And seeing my son being an old soul is probably one of the coolest things. His friends that he has picked up on are a lot of my friends, the older generation. Like one of his very best buds is 75-year-old, retired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My two best friends are 80 and 90 years old.
Oh,
And they're
blessings.
my mentors, my best friends.
Yes.
And we sit around and we talk and we tell stories.
You learn by that.
I do learn by them. But you know what? It was something that I've learned as well is since I was such an old soul, I used to think I would learn more from the older generation, and that's completely true. Wisdom and just honesty and how to be a
100%.
good friend. But I've learned also about how to connect with people my own age and learn from them as well. And something, of course, this podcast is all about bridging the gap between generations. And would you have any advice on what it looks like to be a good human being right now in a world that is just
I do.
chaotic?
I do. Unsubscribe to Facebook and social media and turn the phone off. Best advice I can give you. I feel that that's where our negativity lies. That's where our consumption has just been way too much. It's an addiction. I think we need to take control of our own actions and not blame others for things that go wrong, period. my biggest thing is let's talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting that you might ask that question. I just shared with Sue, who has amazing outlook on life. She works here with us today with twin grandsons that just turned 4, spending quality time at home with them, doing things at home is so important, like smashing potatoes,
Yeah.
building toys, having paint time, pictures that she drew for them to paint. The things that we talked about this morning that just warmed my heart were what she shared with me. And then I'm thinking, what did I do over the weekend? Was after church Saturday night, my son and husband and I had an opportunity to have dinner together.
Oh, yeah.
And we were at a local restaurant. And my son said, "How sad is that?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he says, "Look over there at that table, and how sad is that?" There was a family of 4, 2 children, mom, dad, I assume. Mom, dad. Mom on her phone, dad on his phone. One young son eating, not entertained by any phone. The other son eating, but had the phone propped up watching his show, cartoon, whatever. No interaction.
Yeah.
And yeah, my 22-year-old son pointed that out. That's sad. That's family time. And we're not having any type of interaction together.
Yeah. I remember my mama, right after my papa passed away, I went and really got close to my grandma and known her not as just my mama, but as a friend. It's amazing how much you learn about people, not only about my papa. I learned more about him after he was gone than I did really as just a papa. He was just a fun guy we tackled on the floor and all this stuff like that.
Yes,
and,
I love it.
And built toys in his wood shop and all the things. But you start to learn little details. And one of my favorite memories is we were sitting out on the deck, and we would sit and play music all the time.
Okay.
And they would play music and sing, and it would be late into the evening singing. And after he passed away, and I would go over during summer days, I would sit on the porch with Mama, and she would make strawberry milkshakes. Nothing fancy, just, a couple scoops of ice cream and some melts, and just eat it with a spoon. And we would stay out there late into the evening. And something that she always told me was she would talk about how her life went by so quickly, and really it was a hard life. She's had a hard life, but she has looked at life like, why am I here, Lord? I'm here for a reason, kind of thing. And sometimes I just think it's for right at this moment, because I need people like that in my life, my mama. And is there a moment that you can think back at, maybe your grandparents or your mom or dad, any moments that you can think about, like, this is something special? I put you on the spot.
I don't really have like that aha moment that I can actually think of, other than, again, being, the mom at age 37, and that moment of, this is really mine, right?
Yeah.
I can't really think of any aha moment right off the top of my head, but very blessed with growing up in very similar situations of what you're sharing with grandparents, and we didn't strive to have or go or do. I mean, we weren't like family vacations or materialistic things. It was more time, where you did spend time visiting. I can remember back in my day, my childhood days, spending so much time with my grandparents. Mom and dad were both working, and no fault to that, to provide. But my childhood memories, the best ones I have, are with my grandparents, right? And we'd go camping.
Yeah.
Every summer we'd get to take a little camping trip with them. or we would just go on a Sunday afternoon to visit their friends. Their very best friends of theirs were like second grandparents to me. And you always felt welcome.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a computer screen. There wasn't emails coming through. There wasn't an interruption because there was a phone laying there with text messaging that needed to be answered. You know, it was just quality time.
And I think
Eye to eye contact.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that I have learned as I've grown older, and I just turned 26 this week, so I always take
birthday.
like a little bit of a day to where I just take stock on life and pray and talk to God and just like
It's
see
nice.
what is he working
Nice.
on in life.
I
And
love it.
I was thinking about this when we're talking about conversations. One of the most important things about this podcast is we talk about there's a lot of bad in the world, a lot of dark stuff in the world, and social media loves to display that. And that's pretty much everything that comes on social media, especially when you're young, you're just scrolling through. And after a while, it takes a bearing on you. And then you realize after the newness wears off, you realize you're craving something. And what people are craving is that eye contact and real connection with people. And I think one of the things that with this podcast, making it a long form and talking like this is bringing people out into the community to show them that there are so many good things and good people in the world. So that's why I wanted to have you on.
There's
Yeah.
so much good. We have to really stop and look at what is happening around us and what is the good.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah,
That's okay.
and that's
and
what's
be a good
interesting.
witness, right,
Yes.
to others.
Yes.
I often say too that if the young kids today aren't getting it at home, then we need to give it to them here in their employment, in their place of employment. If they don't know how, then it's up to us to show them.
Yeah.
Not to criticize them,
No.
or the parents to criticize, or to be negative, but it's up to us to make that difference. We can do that.
Well, it's good to know that people are out there wanting to do that and taking an interest in my generation and younger generations. You know, as we talked earlier about going to older generations and having that place, I feel like it's also vice versa, having the older generation actually take interest in the younger generations
Right.
beyond. And I don't think the older generation criticizes. They just take interest in the fact, like, this may not be as good for you as what you think it is, you know, or whatever it might be. But when you're young, you take it as criticism. And
Sure.
I can remember growing up and thinking, as an old soul, it was like proving myself. I'm like, I'm not like what you think I am, or, you know, whatever.
Right.
But I've come to realize that I had a lot of people take interest in me and care about me, and I've been very blessed. And how do you want your legacy as a business owner here in Huntington with this long legacy since 1920 of the Party Shop? What is Lynette's legacy of owning the Party Shop?
I would have to say the relationship that we build with our customers, because we definitely do have a lot of younger staff. It's a nice mix. There's a handful of us that are the older, and then the majority of the evenings and the Saturday crews are typically your high school and your college kids. So yeah, just bringing those connections with all of the staff and the range of age to make it work, to be able to learn. I mean, we have older clientele that sits at this table throughout the course of a morning that we learn by. Some we learn that, oh gosh, I don't want to ever do that, or maybe I take something good away from that too, as well as them taking something from the youth and young.
When you are sitting one day with your own great grandkids, hopefully one day, you have
I will be way too old
You
for that.
never know. You never know. Like I said, there's always a reason why you're here, and there's going to be continuously, just like, oh, wow, this is really cool. I'm still here. I never
That's
would have
hope.
thought,
And
you
I
know.
love that hope.
What do you want to instill in your family? What is the number one thing? It could be absolutely anything. What do you want to instill in your family?
have a heart and care for others. Yeah. My job would be well done if we have a heart and we care for others. Do our best, always. Work hard, do our best.
Okay. I'm going to ask you one last question, and this is just for maybe somebody older or younger looking to start their own business and want to make that kind of difference in their communities, whether it's here in Huntington and Wabash, somewhere across the country. I don't know. What advice can you give somebody looking to start in business?
Well, let's bring it right back in to have a heart and work hard, because that's what we've grown this on. That is 100% where we are. I mean, nothing we do is hard. So whatever that person that wants to start their business, they just need to be able to say, it's not hard, it's a lot. And I'm willing to be that person that does a lot and work hard with a heart for those around that are patronizing our business.
Can I ask you one more?
Sure, you can ask me all you want.
After you said that, how do you take care of yourself in moments of filling other people's cups when you need your cup to be filled?
I'm glad you asked that too. I'll go take a little run. I do enjoy nature and being outside. That's my prayer time. Especially if I'm running alone. We do have a little running group that we typically run with, but I can definitely say I get great satisfaction out of both running by myself and running with the group. But when I'm out there alone, God will fill my cup.
I love that.
Thank you.
Love that. Thank you for taking the time.
Oh
to
my gosh,
sit
my
down.
pleasure. Thank you, Lauren, for having me.
Been so lovely. When I was in, and one of the last things that was ever said to me as I walked through the door was like, make sure you come back and just sit down for a little while and talk.
Thank you.
That
Thank
was
you.
just,
Thank you.
it filled my heart. I told my family all about it, and I was like,
thanks.
I love this place.
Thanks.
So.
No, we were happy to have you come last week. So when we were in the middle of doing turtles, I was really thankful that you were going to take time to come back again. When we weren't right in the middle of making turtles. So.
Can you give the listeners maybe your times of when you're open and dates?
Sure. It's pretty simple. We're 26 years and going. Same hours, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday. The only day we're closed is Sunday.
It's Sunday. Okay.
Sunday.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Hello, Freddie.
Perfect
You remember
timing.
Lauren?
Sure.
Lauren was here last
Perfect
week.
timing.
He was the stir.
Yeah. Well,
And now he's just finished his other job.
my gosh, he stays busy, doesn't he?
Yep. Bridging the gap.
Bridging the gap.
I'm anxious to hear what you edit and put together. And
I
thank
think
you.
everything in it was amazing.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
It
No,
was good. You
wasn't.
did great. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode because I sincerely did. I am incredibly inspired every single time someone walks into my studio and sits down. I am able to look in their eyes and I am welcomed into their story. And that is priceless. It is a great honor and also a great responsibility to think that when they said yes to come onto my podcast, that meant that they trusted me. They trusted me enough to allow me to help tell their story, and to me, that means the world. So thank you to my guest. If you'd like to connect with my guest, if they left any or mentioned any of social media or websites, it will be in the description box below, as well as on my Facebook and Instagram if you want to see what they look like. I have a portrait and a small little write-up along with anything they mentioned within this podcast. So I hope today that you have been inspired to look at your own life and to see that just living your life is important. But I want to inspire you as well to actually document your life. You have an importance in this world, and I want you to use your voice. So it doesn't have to look like 6 pages in a journal or being on a podcast. It can look like a line a day. If you'd like to connect with me, make sure you head over to heareinmytime.com. That is where I have a bi-weekly blog, as well as some of my portfolio work with photography, and where you can also contact me through email at heareinmytime@gmail.com, as well as follow me on Facebook and Instagram. This is at heareinmytime as well, here.inmytime for Instagram, and I have weekly content. Thank you so much for your support. It means the world. And until next week,